Greetings, Clobby'S. Welcome to a very late edition of Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine. February, week 3. But a very late week 3. What I'll do is I'll have this video out today, the follow-up quick bits the next day, and then the next day after that, I'll have week 4, and then we'll finish up week 4 with those two videos. So I guess that means, I suppose, back-to-back-to-back videos, because I unfortunately was missed last week. Anyway, so let's do it quickly, shall we? For those who are not familiar, please, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, please like and subscribe. If you like the video. If you don't, of course, obviously you don't have to. But if you do, I would appreciate it. What we do here at Clobby'S Times is a whole bunch of comics and other geek-related things, including a lot of Star Trek and such. But with these videos here, and there is a link in my description below to a playlist for them. Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine. My time machine is a TARDIS, basically. It's in the shape of an early 1970s Bronze Age spinner rack, and you come into my store each week and you get your pull list worth of books, or in this case, I make the choice of anywhere from 8, 10, 11, just depends, titles each week, and I talk a little bit about them. We don't go into in-depth the story or anything like that. Just show them to you and let you know who wrote and drew them and things like that, just to give you an idea of the choices I would make were I 50 years ago. It's a nice round number. Started this back in September of 71. And here we are. So I want to always keep it like 50 years from that very week. And any of you who have been buying comics at comic shops for years knows the routine. If you have a folder, you go in there and you get your new books every week, if you can make it. And that's what we're doing here. And the difference is it's 1972, February week 3. And so let us take a look first to give you an idea of what's out there on the stands. And there's a link in my description below to this amazing, wonderful blog called Mike's Amazing World, which you're able to search and you can look at all the various comics that come out each week. And as you can see, it was a thriving comic book industry, as I always say. Very, extremely varied in terms of types of comics and everything. And, but my tastes don't vary that much. I'm kind of a superhero or genre type fan guy. There are plenty of other types of comics. In the follow-up video, we'll talk about them. But to start off today, we will show you the ones that I chose. And of course, for week 3, let us get started here. That's where are we at? Make sure I'm in the right spot before we get started. Make sure I'm not missing one. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Yeah, I guess not. Well, I'll go ahead, and if I did, I'll get it on the next one. So we'll start here. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I thought I'd forgot one, but I don't think I did. But we'll include it if somehow I did. Starting off this week, Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine, February, week 3. We have Kirby Alert, King Kirby Alert, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 148. Yes, indeed. Kirby's first book that he picked up when he started his Fourth World Saga after leaving Marvel for DC to kick off the Bronze Age. And he had been on this book for a while at this point. This is nearing his end on the Jimmy Olsen run. And of course, needless to say, is story and art all the way through for the new stories of this 52-page, big 25-cent comic. Jack Kirby on the story and the art. Vinnie Coletta inking. Sorry about that. It happens, but even Coletta couldn't fully ruin Kirby. But on the second story, you're better off because you have Mike Rory. It's going to be one of those videos, folks, trying to go too fast because I'm so behind, and I'm sorry. Mike Royer inking on the second story, and the third story, of course, will be the reprint from Star Spangled Comics number 14 by the Joe Simon and Jack Kirby partnership, and with a cover by the great Neil Adams. Amazing Adventures, featuring the Beast, who was gray at this point, issue number 12. And with story by Steve Englehart, relatively early on in his career, I wager. In fact, I know, because I do believe he started somewhere around this point. Art by Tom Sutton with inks by the great Mike Plug. Wow, he didn't ink much back then, did he? So that's amazing. Great Gil Kane, Joe Sinnott cover. Gotta love it. And again, when I first saw the Beast, I was seeing him as in Avengers, even before, I think probably, and I was seeing Blue Beast. It was always kind of weird to see this gray Beast, but it's kind of cool. And again, that is a spiffy cover. Conan the Barbarian number 15. Continuing from the previous issue, the Elric story. Michael Moorcock, James Cawthorne, and Roy Thomas bringing you this story. Yes, Michael Moorcock, the writer and creator of Elric of Melnie Baroni. Okay, I didn't say it right. I mangled Melnie. And someone's going to get me for it, too. I'm going to get nailed in the chat or in my comments, but that's okay. Please leave comments. Again, trying to go too fast, and that happens sometimes. My memory, But yes, so with art by Barry Smith, again, right before he put the Windsor in there. He'd been at Marvel for a couple of years, and he was really starting to develop his own style. The great, our pal Sal Buscema, early on in his career, Buscema inking Smith with a Barry Smith cover again. A Barry Smith cover early on before the Windsor, but not too long before it. And now for some hard traveling heroes. Green Lantern, Green Arrow number 89. Absolutely one of the most classic runs in history of all of comics, as I'm sure many of you watching are well aware. With, of course, the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams creative team, just one of, again, this is just legendary stuff. So, wow. What a legendary cover as well by Adams, of course. It does contain, because all these comics back then, as I've always let you guys know, I always mentioned every week, these 52-page 25 centers always carried a little bit extra. In this case, there was a reprint from GL 38 by John Broom, Erwin Hasen, and Frankie Koya. So, again, a classic from the O'Neil Adams Hard Traveling Heroes GLGA run. Great stuff. Beautiful art. Rawhide Kid number 99. With, again, pretty much all reprint stuff in here. Marvel was doing it too. They were putting, again, I know I do this every week, but you never know who's going to be in it. Didn't hear me the week before. Marvel and DC, there weren't trade paperbacks and omnibuses and epic collections and all that, and masterworks and archives. But they like to put their reprints not only in later when they would do books that are, completely devoted to reprints. Sometimes they would stick them in with other stuff. And then, or they would just resurrect an old title and just make it full of reprints from its earlier days. In this case, Story and Art 1, Larry Lieber and George Russos. Story and Art 2, Stanley Angelo Torres, with a pretty nice Larry Lieber and George Russos cover on Rawhide Kid, blazing Western action as you like it. Western comics kind of making a comeback, but mostly as reprints at this point. Red Wolf, number 1. interesting title. And again, I'm pretty sure I don't think it lasted very long, but the Western stuff really doing well. You have a Gary Friedrich art by Sid Shores and a nifty Gil Kane, John Severin cover. The Ringo Kid number 14, all reprints. It's just, I mean, this thing was chock full of similar to what I was just talking about before, with the only writer of any that is known in there, no other crediting, because these are kind of tough to get the credits on sometimes. But Stan gets credit for some of the writing that we're not sure of everyone else. Art, Fred Kita, Jack Keller, Bob Beforian, Jack Abel, and of course, Johnny Quest's Doug Wiley. Yes, that Doug Wiley. And as often is the case of late, a nifty John Severin cover. Kind of one of those Severin covers, man. Wow. Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Wayne, number 121. Story by Cary Bates, art Werner Roth and Vinnie Coletta. Story art 2, Robert Kanigher, Rich Buckler, Mike Esposito. Story art 3 is a reprint from an earlier Lois Lane issue, number 35. Nothing on the writer, Kurt Schaffenberger, one of the greats, of course, on the art. And as always with these these Lois Lane covers, or Supergirl covers of later, whatever, Bob Oxner doing the covers. Oh, Bob did a lot of cover work back then. Superboy, number 184. Sporting a creepy cover by the great Nick Cardy, by the way. Always creeped me out, this cover. Don't know if I have this one, though. I've seen it much times. I'm not sure if it's in my collection or not. And I have a lot of Superboy issues. I tried to collect as many of these as I could at the time. Story and arts on Leo Dorfman, Bob Brown, with inks by the great super inker Murphy Anderson. The second story, a reprint from House of Mystery 156. Dave Wood to Jim Mooney. And story 3, Cary Bates, Dave Cockrum, Murphy Anderson. What a great team. It's a Legion story. They don't tell you anything on this cover. It's kind of strange, but they've got an actual, non-reprint Legion story of this one, if I remember right. So maybe I do have it. I'm trying to get all the Legion issues. Oh, well, I haven't checked in a long time. Could be, maybe not, though. Again, crazy cover by the great Nicholas Cardy. And finally, for the week 3 here, we have Star Trek 14 from Gold Key. Story by Lynn Wein. The great Lynn Wein, the late great Lynn Wein, just got to start doing some other stuff before. I mean, apparently, obviously, I'm assuming this was before he started popping up at DC or Marvel. But that's an assumption. I'm not sure. It's tough to do the research. Gold Key doesn't keep a lot of records the same way as some of the big two does. Art by Alberto Giolitti with a cover. Probably by, and it looks like it is. You're never too sure about, again, info is spotty for research on these old Gold Key comics and other companies. But I believe the cover was by great Gold Key painter George Wilson. And that about wraps it up for Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine 1972 week 3. So basically, thank you so much. If this is the first time you've ever joined us, I really appreciate it. You can check out all of my other videos, all of them on my channel, of course, and there's a playlist for all of the Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machines below. Also, a link to the great site that I'm referencing, Mike's Amazing World, the newsstand section. If you want to look up when your comics come out and when anything about comics history, it's amazing. And so, well, that's about it. The next video tomorrow will be much shorter, a quick bits video, where I show you some of the books that I did not select from my folder that you did, but that I think deserved a little bit of attention as well, just because we're just so nice here. In the meantime, as always, shout out to my wonderful First Officer R.M. Briggs, for my lovely intro outro for this video segment. And again, thank you so much. And I see you in the next video and hopefully on the streams. Catch me. Please like and subscribe to Clobberin' Times. I do appreciate it. Clobber on, clobbers.